Hey everyone, welcome back to FSi DFS. I'm McKinley412, ready to break down the Tuesday 11-game slate. Hope you're all having a fantastic week, and I think it's going to be a really interesting slate. We got two really big heavy favorites, both on the road though. Colorado at Chicago, Los Angeles at San Jose, and then we got a bunch of fairly decent sized home favorites as well. We do have a 5.5 over-under on the board in that Boston-Minnesota game, and everything else is pretty similar. Going down to the projected goalkeepers, I do want to make a note here on Devin Levi. He has an .898 save percentage on the season. However, his past 3 or 4 games have been absolutely incredible. He really struggled early on in the year. This is his first season in the NHL. They sent him down in the minors for a game or two. He came back up from the minors, and he's looked like an entirely different goalie, much more composed, much more relaxed. So he has been doing a lot better. Now he's going to be facing off against one of the weaker teams in the entire league in Columbus. Ingram, Talbot, again, these are just projected goalkeepers at this point in time. Things can change. So let's head over towards some of these big line stacks. And we're just going to start off with the big dogs. Colorado, biggest favorite on the slate at -265 on the road at Chicago. Nichushkin, McKinnon, Rantanen. This is the best line in hockey right now in terms of just talent and in terms of DFS production as well. They also, have the best matchup on the entire slate going up against Chicago and their woeful defense. Nichushkin, he just remains far too cheap for the opportunity that he is presented with, skating alongside McKinnon, skating on a top power play unit, the floor that he provides as well. I think he's just too cheap at 6.6K. I also believe that a lot of people are going to be pairing him with McKinnon. Now, it's going to be a really interesting slate because there are so many, all of the studs are on this slate. Matthews, McDavid, Hughes, McKinnon, Pasternak, Kucherov, all the big guns are going. Which one are you going to get? Because you're really not going to get 2 of them. I do think that a lot of people are going to be turning towards McKinnon. I think he has the best matchup and should be the most popular, especially in cash games. So I do think that Nichushkin and McKinnon are going to be pretty popular. Leaving Rantanen's ownership maybe being a little bit lower than it should be just because of cost savings and all of that. But it is possible to still get all 3 into your lineup. But those 3 with a middle tier goalie, you're still looking at only around 3.4K remaining for the rest of your line. It gets tight real quick when you try to jam in all 3 of these guys. Another line stack we're going to go with is Edmonton. And I kind of did a little bit of a shake-up here. So Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, he's now on the second line for Edmonton. If you've been paying attention this season, you know that Leon Draisaitl is not performing to Leon Draisaitl levels. And I think the coach is really trying to shake things up to get him going. Because this top line, it used to be this top line of Nugent-Hopkins, McDavid, and Hyman for the past couple weeks, and they have been arguably the second best line in all of hockey right after Nichushkin in this top line here. But they moved Nugent-Hopkins down to that second line to be skating with Draisaitl, and they bumped Evander Kane up to the top line to skate alongside with McDavid and Hyman. So that's what this L2 is. That means he's on the second line. However, they're still all going to be skating on the same power play unit regardless. Nugent-Hopkins, he's been producing very well. He's going to be a nice middle-of-the-table winger to go in your cash builds as well. Nugent-Hopkins and Nichushkin, they're going to be pretty popular. And you'll see down here in the notable special teams, Edmonton, they have the best matchup in terms of power play unit versus penalty kill unit that they're going to be facing off against. Edmonton, top 4 in the league. Power play, Islanders, worst PK in the entire league. So I do think that this is going to be a very, very favorable matchup. If you want to go with Evander Kane and get that full top line, I could understand that. But for me, even spreading things out does give you a little bit more safety as well. And then third line stack, I feel like it would be pretty kind of obvious if you've been paying attention to these videos here. But we're going to go to Los Angeles. They're on the road. They got a great matchup against San Jose. Second biggest favorite on the board here. Los Angeles, they are dominant on the road. 12-1-1 so far. Great matchup against San Jose. And this line here of Byfield, Kopitar, and Kempe, they've been the guys producing on the road as of late for Los Angeles. I'm fine if you want to go to that second line as well with Fiala, Dano and Trevor Moore. Totally fine if you want to go that route. I totally understand that. But Byfield is just another cheap option that you could go to at wing. Like if you want to go Nichushkin, Nugent Hopkins, and Byfield as your three wingers in cash, awesome. Like you're not really going to be breaking the bank at all. You're probably going to be able to get a guy like McKinnon or McDavid if you do want to go that route. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of where the line stacks are. Again, they're in no particular order, and there's so many other line stacks who I have interest in, but I don't want to cover all of them. Notable special teams. Let's kind of review this here real quick. We see that Edmonton has the best favorable matchup going up against the Islanders. We see a lot of bottom basement dwelling penalty kill units. Ottawa, second worst PK, facing off against a top 10 or top 11. We'll say top 10. Arizona power play. Minnesota, terrible PK. Boston, top 10 power play. Colorado, they're facing off against Chicago. Colorado's power play somehow this season is 19th. I don't understand how that's even possible with guys like McKinnon and Rantanen and Makar and Nichushkin. It doesn't make any sense at all. But it is what it is, and I think that they're going to be, improving their rank as the season goes on. So I'm not scared away by this 19th ranked for them. Team shots per game, you can see that, shots against, most, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so I mean, you can see right here, like Edmonton, number one in terms of like shots generated per game, and they're facing off against the Islanders, who allow the second most shots against per game. I do really like the Edmonton side here, even with them on the road. So going to some individual plays, I just highlighted all these top salary guys because it is true. Like all the big guys are going. I just realized I left Kucherov off on here. Not to say he's a bad play. I think Kucherov is a phenomenal play. Completely just forgot to put him on here. So hopefully you're paying attention and you haven't just paused the video because Kucherov, great play at home against St. Louis. Draisaitl, already talked about him, how he just has not figured it out for some reason. I mean, he's still doing well, but not to Draisaitl levels. But maybe him and Nugent Hopkins on the line together can figure it out. Tage Thompson, I do like Buffalo at home here. Vegas does as well, minus 170 favorite at home against Columbus. Thompson, he's going to be skating on that top line. He's probably going to be with Benson. I don't know what it's going to look like. Alex Tuch, he's injured. Benson could be up there on that top line. I don't know who they're going to put up there right now. It could be Quinn. If Jack Quinn is in, he's actually one of my favorite value plays on the entire board at 2.8K. He's going to be coming off of injury that's kind of kept him out for the season so far, but the guy is just absolutely phenomenal. No reason he should be 2.8K. He's definitely more around the 5K range, or will be as the season progresses here. Bo Horvat, I still think that this Edmonton Islanders game is going to be a shootout. If you're going to be betting this matchup, I would hit the over on the 6.5 here. Couturier for Philadelphia. I'm going to ask a question. I kind of set it up. Who's been the best team for their past 10 games? Like, who's got the best record in their past 10 games? It's Philadelphia, believe it or not. They're 7-1-2 in their past 10 games, only one regulation loss. Actually, they're technically tied with Vegas, but still. Excuse me. Philadelphia is not the team that I would be expecting to be having that hot streak. They're going up against New Jersey, and while New Jersey is a big favorite, defensively, they have really, really struggled so far this season. So I do think that Couturier, pairing him with a guy like Konechny, could be a nice GPP pivot, deep GPP, if you are going that route. Nico Hischier just remains way too cheap. Already talked about Dano. And then Geeky, if you are going to go with Pastrnak for Boston, Geeky does skate on that top line for Boston and top power play unit. So we're talking top line, top power play, skating alongside Pastrnak. Home favorite at minus 190. He could be a very nice place. I mean, just kind of like talking through, like Geeky, super cheap. Pair him like McKinnon, Geeky, Nichushkin, Nugent Hopkins, Byfield. Yeah, you don't have a whole lot of correlation, but you have a lot of great plays and a lot of salary to still work in some great defense. Or to wing, already talked about Pastrnak. Tkachuk. So Ottawa just fired their coach yesterday. So it's going to be really intriguing how they're going to respond to that. I think this is the third or the fourth coach that's been fired so far this season. And after every single firing, the team has done very well. So Ottawa, can they continue that trend? If so, and you like Ottawa here going on the road at Arizona, Tkachuk, pair him with Chychrun. Chychrun's going to have a nice revenge game going back to Arizona there. Jesper Bratt, if you're going to be going with Jack Hughes, go with Bratt. Connecting, I already talked about him. Patrick Kane. Sorry, not Patrick Kane. I was like, what was I thinking? I'm like, Detroit's on the slate. Evander Kane. Already talked about how McDavid, Hyman, their top line. Kane moved up to that top line, but do I really like him? Not really. I'd much rather just play Nugent Hopkins at 5.7. Mentioned how I like Buffalo here. JJ Peterka, he's been phenomenal so far this season for Buffalo. I really think it could be a nice middle play value for you. And then DeBrusk, 4.1K, skates on the top power play for Boston. It could be a nice cheap option for you as well. On defense, Bouchard. He's just fantastic in terms of production, in terms of like shots, block shots, and getting on the score sheet. If you're looking for like floor points and just like flat out shots and block shots, but might not get on the board as much, Nurse. He has been phenomenal as of late. He's been hitting the shot bonus. He's been hitting the shot block bonus. He's doing everything. He's just not getting a whole lot of action on the score sheet. Dahlin, pairing him, if you are going with the Buffalo stack, I would highly recommend having Dahlin as part of it. Drew Doughty, pairing him with Los Angeles guys. The guy just skates like 27 to 30 minutes of ice time. It's insane. And then I like a whole lot of 3.7K guys. Romanov, big block shot guy for the Islanders. Really, they have a lot of block shot guys on the Islanders. And we already mentioned the shot totals. I mean, I think they're going to see a lot of shots against here. He's going to be putting in that block shot bonus, almost a guarantee, in my opinion. Shattenkirk with McAvoy on the IR. He moved up to the top power play unit for Boston. And then Faber. We're just going to keep putting Faber in here until he's north of 4K because he's just awesome. He sees a bunch of ice time. He does it all. Love him. I think he's going to be a great player in the NHL for many years to come. So, yeah, if you haven't already, come join us in the Discord. Love to have you. Use the code POWERPLAY, free day of access. If you want to come join our soccer room, it's completely free. I think we got the UCL Champions League coming up here this week, so pay attention to that. Charlie, he might have some videos out just throughout the week for different soccer slates that might be happening, but we'd love to have you. Just go to our website, sign up through the website. All the information will be right there on what to do. So thanks for watching. As always, good luck in your contest, and we'll see you tomorrow.